Hi, my name's Archie Jennings. I'm a London-based composer. Thanks so much for joining me as I walk you through my demo score for our recent clip, The Insect Kingdom. This is one of the demo walkthroughs you get as a creator member of the QTube. So thank you so much for supporting us and for being a member here at the QTube. There's a lot to get through in this walkthrough, so let's just dive right in and have a look at the score.
In the heart of the world's most vibrant ecosystems lies a world often overlooked, but no less extraordinary. The Insect Kingdom, a realm of astonishing diversity. From the beauty of the dragonflies, ancient predators of the sky, their agile flight and keen vision make them formidable hunters, to the relentless determination of ants, masters of teamwork and engineering, each playing a vital role in the survival of their colony. Transformation is a constant theme in the insect world. The caterpillar, a voracious eater, undergoes a miraculous metamorphosis, emerging as a beautiful butterfly. Insects pollinate our crops, decompose organic matter, and form the base of countless food chains. Yet these intricate lives are under threat. Honeybees, crucial for pollination, face dangers from pesticides that disrupt their ability to navigate and survive. So next time you step into nature, appreciate the hidden wonders of the insect kingdom. In their tiny forms lies the greatness of nature's design. This is the world of insects, a marvel of nature's ingenuity and an essential part of the Earth's biodiversity.
So when writing this score, I knew I was obviously going to be doing a demo walkthrough for our library, for our members, and I wanted to have a proof of concept type thing going on with my idea when writing. So I decided it would be primarily a really simple, even bordering on boring melody, and what we would do is we would turn that into different orchestrations of that to prove that you can create something really exciting out of something super simple. So let me show you the piano sketch first of all, and we'll just have a look at the chords and the melody together. So as you can see, the melody is super flat. It's basically, well, it's in 3/4, and it's just this E, which is the third in the key of C major, just on the 2 and 3. So, bum, bum, bum. A bit of a waltz feeling going on, but yeah, not super exciting in any way. Again, with the harmony as well, really simple. We start with the 4, the F, the 1 comes next, which is C major, and then we go to the 3, E minor, the 2, which is D minor, then the 6, which is A minor, and to the 5, which is G major, to lead us back to C major. This changes a little bit as that was a later on section, but it's just there in the piano roll at the moment. So this was the sketch. It was the thing that I wrote first of all, just sat at the piano, wrote this melody, chords in left hand, melody in the right hand, super simple. What do we do from there? Well, first of all, I wrote the introduction, which is a bit different. So let's just park that for the moment and go to the introduction by itself. Yep, just a nice lead up to that title card of the Insect Kingdom. I wanted it to sound really pastoral because we're going to be in the forest with the insects. And yeah, I think it does sort of give that sound through the woodwinds primarily, and then the support in the strings. We've got a few other sounds going on as well, such as harp and cymbals, but I don't want to get too much into what each instrument is doing here. I want to show you how everything fits together more so. So yeah, just simple ideas, to be honest. I will just dive into the strings quickly. We have this flautando patch from Chamber Strings, which is from Spitfire Audio. And then we have a few harmonics which sound really, really nice with this flautando. Let's just hear those two together. Sets the scene really nicely, and then we just come in with these woodwinds. Let's hear them. And so that was meant to be just sort of like a mini taster, a starter, before we go into the main melody. And let's hear how this first section is orchestrated. So I'm working with a pretty new template, so I'm just getting used to it still, and it's still a work in progress. So forgive me if, you know, we're darting between things a little bit, or things aren't in a specifically clear place, but I've tried to make it as simple and clear as possible. But what have we got? So we've got the flute playing the main melody. Let's hear that. That solo flute is playing the main melody, and then these other two flutes are doing this kind of flutter tongue thing. On beat 1 of the bar. What else is going on? We have the flute melody supported by the glockenspiel, which is porting with some accents. So let's hear them both together. That's a really nice orchestration combination there, just to outline this kind of pastoral idea. Really nice. As well as that, we have some things going on with those flautando strings that I was talking about. We just have a kind of small swell outlining some of the harmony just at the start of the bar. The cello and the viola, they are pizzicato. Let's hear what they're doing. Just arpeggiating the chords basically. But yeah, it sounds really nice and sort of buoyant. I really love that sound. Let's hear the harp supporting. And let's hear that with the cello and the viola. And let's also add in those flute flutters. Those flutes also support some of the movement up and down the scale that we have going on in the melody. But to be honest, that's the bulk of what's going on in the background and the midground of the orchestration. Way in the back, we've got some percussion, which is actually really creating this bit of energy moving into each bar. And that is coming from the triangle primarily, which is doing this. Let's hear it by itself first of all, and then in context. It just helps us move from bar to bar with that little roll. So let's hear it in context. And I wanted this part of the clip to be, you know, really simple, opening up, introducing the world that we're moving into and introducing our main melody. So let's hear it all together one last time before we move into the next type of orchestration. So in the last couple bars we have a few things going on. Some of the violins join in with the melody just to lead us into this next section. We also have the clarinet join sort of halfway through this section. And we have the oboes do a little run, which sounds quite fun. Let's hear that. And that really helps to just lead us into the next section where these instruments that are coming in are going to be used in the orchestration. So a bit more exciting this time, we're growing in energy a little bit, but still with that sort of pastoral sound. Let's hear what's going on in these flutes. So the flutes here are just supporting the melody as much as they can, which is primarily in the violin. And let's hear that with the woodwind section supporting that. Oboes have joined in too. Yeah, simple, just outlining some of the melody. Really simple, pretty boring, but it gets a bit more exciting when you add in a few of the other instruments doing different things. So one example of that is this orchestration combination between the horn and the vibraphone, which is coming in for the first time. Let's hear that together. And you would actually be wrong in thinking that we've moved to 4/4, even though it does give that idea. We're simply going with a little bit of sort of metric modulation type thing with this pattern. So we're still in 3/4, but we're just hitting these chords on the strong beat 1 and on the off beat of 2. Let's hear it with the click. Really helps to provide some energy in this next section. So let's keep those soloed and add some of the instruments that are also joining. So again, we've got the cello, but this time I think it's just supporting the melody. Pretty simple. The harp, I believe, is, yeah, again, the same as the vibraphone and the horns. And the celeste, I believe, is also doing the same thing. A few more exciting things are going on in the bassoon, so that's helping us with the melody, but also having a go with its own sort of pattern, outlining some of the harmony. Yeah, and we've got this mark tree as well, which just sort of provides a bit of, you know, an atmospheric thing going on in the background. So that's the bulk of the orchestration in the background and the midground. Let's add the melody now, which is of course in the foreground. Again, the clarinets join in sort of halfway through that section. So let's hear that section all together. Okay, now energy is really picking up and the melody has moved to the horn and the cello. Deeper, I want it to sound a bit more powerful now. We're not in the flute and violins anymore, so let's hear that. The horns and the cello playing the melody together. A really classic orchestral combination. And things have picked up a little bit in the midground and the background. So let's have a think about the midground. What's going on? Not the strings yet. That's more in the background in this section. We've got some cymbals and some tubular bells. So cymbals to bring us in and out of the section and identify the biggest moments. The tubular bells are supporting that horn melody. So let's hear that. And let's hear it with the horn. Again, we have the bassoon doing its own thing here. In the midground, what else do we have? Okay, let's move more towards the background. So here, the strings are really what is the biggest thing going on in the background. So let's hear the strings by themselves. Just arpeggiation of the harmony completely. Again, the same with the harp. This time actually we've just got glissandos up and down the scale across 3 octaves, I think. 1, 2, it's 3. Up and down 3 octaves. Let's hear it. The celeste is also supporting that harmony. And then some of the other strings are joining in the melody just to sort of accentuate some of the parts going up and down the scale. And we've also got a few runs that lead us out of that section. Cool, so that's what's going on in the background mainly. And let's hear all of that together. Okay, we've got a bit of a change here. This is a slightly different section. It's not the main melody that we've got going on. We've got some movement as we're going to build up to that main melody in the final section. But again, the orchestration is really starting to become quite different. We've got the woodwind section doing what the string section was doing in the last section. A lot of use of the word section there. Going up and down, arpeggiating the chords. So let's just see what that looks like in the MIDI roll. What's cool about this is that we have, you might be able to see, actually let's just solo the flute. So you'll be able to see that in one of the flutes, we have the arpeggios going down and then up. In the other flute, it's up then down, and it sounds like this. It's a really cool combination. Very cool sound there, really, really big. And then I've just sort of mirrored this in the rest of the woodwind section, of course in octaves. Let's hear what the bassoon is doing. Just sort of supporting some of the melody, but also outlining some of the harmony. Trombone is sort of outlining the harmony in the sort of the bass notes of the harmony. Let's just hear those. Cool. The violin. Yep, some sort of melodic thing going on there. Celeste and Glockenspiel, let's hear those. Yeah, again, sort of outlining some of the melody. And yeah, that's what's going on for the most part. We have another flute here and some clarinets doing some melodic things. Yep, nice just to outline some of the harmony and the melody. And yeah, that sounds really good. We have the trumpet coming in later on to really build us into this last section where it's going to support the melody. Nice, going up the scale there, sounds really cool. And something I showed you in the last walkthrough video for Dinos, if anyone saw that, is that you want to hold out with the bass instruments, so that's the double bass and the tuba, until the biggest section in the piece. So you'll notice now, once the narrator is gone and we are just seeing these images and the credits, the double bass comes in down here, doesn't come in at any other point in the piece, and so does the tuba, and that sounds huge. Let's just hear it there. Notice how it sort of just widens and sounds a lot bigger all of a sudden. Yeah, that's just from the tuba and the double bass. So we've got now the trumpet on some cool counter melody. And then I believe that is repeated in some of the woodwind section, the clarinets and the oboes. So this nice kind of call and response thing, or repeating the melody. And that goes really nicely with our main melody. Again, the cello and the viola is doing this sort of arpeggiation thing. Sounds really cool. Just outlining the harmony there. The harp is playing roll chords and glissandos. To be honest, most of the power is coming from the percussion section in this section. You can almost kind of hear where the melody is just with the support from the percussion. That's what you want to do for a good percussion part and good percussion section. But yeah, everything's basically coming in together, supporting the melody or supporting the harmony. And then the flutes are just sort of playing the melody along as well with the rest of the woodwind section. Let's just hear this section in full and all of those parts together. I really hope you enjoyed this look into the orchestration exercise that was this demo for the clip The Insect Kingdom. Make sure to score the clip yourself. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye now.